Erika Donalds, future First Lady of Florida. Welcome. Statsy, thank you for joining us. He's our Florida Education Commissioner. How long have you had the job?
Technically, I started July 14th. So
You're about to be the Education Commissioner. This is so exciting. We are honored to have both of you with us here. Erika, I'm going to start with you because you have such a fascinating background. First of all, you're the mother of these gorgeous three boys.
Well, 4 if you count Byron.
Well, Byron, 4 boys. No. They're wonderful, wonderful, beautiful family. But then you decided you were going to get involved. And you ran for school board, you won, and this issue of education and parental choice really became something that you felt has been a critical issue for you to advocate for. Talk to us about that.
Well, it did start with my children. I, as Byron mentioned earlier, was in finance. I spent 20 years in the financial services industry, was just raising my family. We did what many middle-class families do. We bought a house in the neighborhood where we wanted our kids to go to school. This was the A school district. That's what we worked so hard for. But I found out that not all schools are the same for every child. My oldest did great, and my second child was absolutely miserable in school. Kindergarten, we made it through, but every day was crying, and he did not want to go to school. And by the time we got into the middle of first grade, I couldn't take it anymore. And I pulled him out and put him into a small classical Christian school, and I literally put the tuition on my credit card. I could not afford it at the time. But the first time I picked up my son from school in his new classical environment, he jumped in the car with the biggest smile on his face. And he was like, "Mom, did you know about the Crusades?" And he talked all the way home with so much joy about what he had learned that day. He was a different kid from then on. And I immediately thought, how many other Darrens are out there? How many other moms listened to the experts who told me that he should be on medication? And I didn't listen to them. And thankfully, he just graduated from high school. He's going to play college basketball. He's never been in a special classroom or on medication, but he was able to thrive in a school choice environment. So that motivated me to run for school board, to open charter schools, and to work on education policy for the past 15 years now, with a lot of great successes, thanks to Stasi and the things he's done behind the scenes for many years. Even though he's not commissioner yet, he's been in the department and around education in Florida and a huge influence for a long time.
Stasi, you've been kind of, the behind-the-scenes guy, deputy chief of staff, done so much work in this area. What are the challenges you all have faced at the state level when it came to ensuring that the children were receiving the best education they had, and the parents, you would have the rights to basically ensure that their kids would get the best education?
Well, thank you for that. And, at the time I was in the general counsel's office when our biggest challenge was COVID. I thought it was going to be a lawsuit expanding the scholarship programs because the teachers union knew they were not going to be able to defend Bush v. Holmes. And so I was brought up by Richard Corcoran because I was an aggressive attorney down in Miami, and we knew we wanted to expand the scholarship vouchers. That lawsuit never came because Governor DeSantis remade the Supreme Court, and they knew they didn't have a shot to win. So it ended up being COVID. And during that time, we saw, and many parents saw, what was happening in their schools. And we had to fight to keep schools open. People forget the teachers union tried to keep our schools closed. And it was amazing if you see the narratives that were out there, that we were going after minority students, students with disabilities, English language learners. But let's take a step back. Look at the testimony in that trial at the injunction hearing. We had the head of the Urban League, Glenn Gilzine, talk about how important schools were for his community in particular, whether it was to get a meal, whether it was for safety, to receive an education. It was a big deal. English language learners had a very difficult time with remote learning, for Spanish-speaking parents in particular who were having troubleshooting the technology issues. And then you talk about students with disabilities. We had 2 parents who testified. One of them was a mother with a child that had autism who said, "You cannot put a computer screen in front of my child's face or they'll whack it out of my hands. It just will not work." And so you had to have the courage and the conviction. Governor DeSantis definitely led with that. He knew that the medical science that supported it. If you look at that trial, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, who was now recruited by Donald Trump, was our leading scientific expert who testified that what Governor DeSantis was doing by keeping schools open was the right decision scientifically. And so that was just one of many battles that we've fought in education, and it really has shaped the landscape for education in Florida, and that's why we have all these accolades. We're #1 overall in education by not Fox News, by U.S. News and World Report, which is a left-leaning ranking system. system. Number one, 9 years straight in higher education. Number one by the Heritage Foundation. Number one by the Parent Power Index. Number one by the Center for Education Reform. Ranking after ranking after ranking, Florida has delivered because of the leadership of Governor DeSantis.